It has never been easier to get started with video marketing. Today's audiences don't want all of the polished stuff. They just want authentic, concise content. So today we're talking about how you can make use of no edit videos for your business. Let's get right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz. I help small business owners use digital marketing to build their business faster. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss any of my content. Now, it should be good news for every single one of us that wants to use video for their business that no edit video marketing is all of the rage now. And in fact, I actually think it is here to stay. I don't think it's just a passing trend. This means that videos that you publish on social media or anywhere on the internet no longer have to be this polished, expensive, laborious process. You don't have to have all of the fancy equipment and spend hours and hours thinking about editing. In fact, a lot of the videos that are getting really popular now and gaining some traction and momentum for their publishers are the type where the person is just pressing record and talking to the camera, or they are just, including their audience while they are going about their day. So this is great news because it means that you can also just get started with video marketing right away. You don't have to wait for any other expensive, time-consuming pieces to fall into place. So today we're talking about a couple different ways that you can employ this strategy so that you can get started with video marketing. Let's jump right into it. Now, the first type of no edit video that you can get started on is what I like to call the behind the scenes problem solver. So if you are a business owner that has a physical product, or you do coaching, or your business is completely online, or whatever the case is, you spend your entire day talking to your clients and solving problems with them. So of course you'd want to capture some of those moments because that is what shows your audience what you are like in real life. What is your expertise like and how do you actually deal with your customers and clients? This gives people an opportunity to envision what it would be like to work with you, and that's actually really invaluable. So the way to do this is just to simply have your phone always handy whenever you are on calls with people or whenever you are interacting with your clients. I always have this little tripod handy. I bought it on Amazon. I talk about it all the time because it was just so affordable and it just sits easily on my desk. So sometimes when I'm on calls with people, I can just have that here recording me. So the point is not to capture the other person that you're talking with because you don't want to invade their privacy as well. But the video just should be rolling so that it captures the way that you are speaking and the way that you are explaining certain things to the person that you are talking to. Now, of course, get the permission of that person that you are speaking to. Let them know that you're not trying to capture their voice and their face, but you're simply just capturing some video just so that you can show your audience and your viewers what it would be like to work with you. They'll usually be okay with that. But the great thing about this type of video is that it is so easy to create. You don't need to add like captions or text or anything flowery or any fancy edits and jump cuts to that. You can just post it pretty much raw as it is because your audience wants to see what it is really like to be in an environment with you where you are showing your expertise. So that type of video is very easy to create and to just press publish on. The next really easy type of video to create that doesn't require any edits is to share tips just with one breath. So what do I mean by this? So if you think of short form video content, the reason why it's interesting to people is because it is just snappy and punchy and people get a little bit of value content just in a little short snippet. So instead of spending a lot of time drafting and scripting and thinking and then practicing and re-recording and making multiple cuts and stitching it together, challenge yourself to think of a really valuable tip that you can give to your audience and then challenge yourself to say it in just one breath. So when I say one breath, I basically mean 20 seconds of saying something. You can easily come up with something that is useful for your audience to know and then just press record and just say it pretty much in one breath. When you feel like you've run out of your breath, that's your natural end point. So try that a couple times and you might notice that it actually comes off as being quite sort of interesting and punchy because you have that energy of just trying to say it in one breath, which of course your audience is not going to notice, but you will know that that's what you're doing. And it just keeps it short and concise. When you know that you don't have a lot of time to talk on camera, that's when you will have a tendency to keep your message actually very succinct, which is what your audience wants. If you give yourself a lot of time to take one take and then cut that and then go and think and then come back and do another, that's when you start stitching it together and it becomes longer and longer and more rambling. But your audience is actually going to really appreciate and they might recognize the fact that you are a specialist at this type of content, where you just provide the one tip in one breath and then they are done and you are done. Now, another really easy style of video you can create without a lot of edits is what I call the phone flip. So that is basically taking a video of you while you are doing some normal, everyday, mundane type of a task. And then you are just speaking and sharing some valuable content during that time. So I'm talking about like when you are folding your laundry, or when you are wiping your kitchen table, or making your morning coffee, or taking your dog out for a walk. So have the camera facing you. So you can either use a tripod, or if you're out walking, technically you would have to hold the phone while you're doing that, of course. But the thing about doing that type of video is that your senses are going to be split in two places. You're going to be concentrating on creating the content of the video and saying that in a good way. And you're also going to be focused on that task that you are doing. So the beauty of that is that focusing on that task and having half of your brain worrying about that is actually going to slow you down and make you more conversational and less salesy. It's one thing to press record and just talk to the camera, but it's another thing just to be chatting to the camera while you are folding your laundry. If you try it one time, you'll notice what I'm talking about. So this actually is quite nice for your audience to hear, because it almost feels like they're sitting on the sofa across from you while you're folding your laundry and just chatting to them about business or about your product. So the key to this is just to have a topic ready. Think in general about what are the 1 or 2 points that you want to have, and then don't worry about having a script or looking away somewhere and referencing your notes. Just let the natural pace of that activity that you're doing just move you along, and then just wrap it up in a really nice and comfortable, casual way. And then you'll notice that your audience actually really likes these type of videos because they are relatable. They make you look like a normal person who is out doing normal things that everyone does, while you are just having a conversation with them about something that they care about. And the other type of video I want to talk about today is one that I do a lot, and that is just capturing video while you are out driving around. In this instance, the phone is not actually facing you. The phone is just facing the place where you're driving or walking or whatever it is you're doing, but you're just talking in the meantime. So it almost comes as a voiceover, but the audience can see what you're doing and they're just kind of following you along for the day. I do this a lot, at least a couple times a week. Those are great opportunities for you when you don't necessarily want to have the pressure of being on camera, or you just don't have the ability at that point to face it towards you because you're focusing on something else, but you're still talking and connecting with your audience. Those type of videos actually get a lot of engagement. People do want to lean in and hear what you are saying, because at some point they will realize that the visual that they are watching is just something very sort of, random, like driving along on a street, or, showing out the window while you were driving, or anything like that, walking along the sidewalk. So there's not so much for them to think about there. Their energy doesn't have to go too much into the visual. So they will naturally focus more on what you are saying. I notice that I get a lot of DMs when I create these type of videos, and people are just commenting and responding back to me about the things that I'm talking about in that video. When I make those type of videos, I usually just pick one topic. I don't, just let it ramble onto everything going on in my mind at that time. I pick one thing that I've just kind of thought about that day. It can be something that I just observed while I was out for a drive, or, something that I read, or something that I heard, or just one thought that I want to share, like my opinion on it. And in fact, these type of videos don't even have to be completely connected to your niche. If they are, that's amazing. But if they're not, it's okay too, because people are getting a chance just to see what your brain is like, and how you think, and how you operate, and the different thought processes you have about things. This is also valuable for your audience. Your audience is not only trying to buy from you because they specifically care about that product. They want to get that product from you because they also believe in you and they're invested in you. So that's also extremely important. So these type of videos do well, and they're also extremely low pressure. You don't even have to be on camera. You don't even have to comb your hair or be out of your pajamas. So when you are out one day, just out for a walk or out for a drive or doing something like that, think about pointing the camera out at the scenery and then just talking to it and having a moment with your audience. So these type of videos will really help you to get started and give you some momentum. You don't have to feel like you need to come back and load everything to your computer and open all of your video editing softwares and start snipping and trimming everything. You can just capture it on your phone, do no edits to it, except maybe if you want, trim the beginning or trim the end just so it's a little bit more clean there. And then just post it. Don't think too much. Just post it. Have a very casual or useful caption along with that if you have the time for that. And then just get it out there. These type of videos are really good in stories as well, because they are low maintenance. They are low commitment to consume and to make. And then people just continue to feel like they're a part of your life and seeing what you're really like. So if you like this video, I hope that you will give it a like, share it off with one of your friends. Don't forget to subscribe because every single Tuesday, I bring you a new video teaching you how you can add digital marketing to your business. So until next time, take care.